Hello everyone, welcome to Software Quality Assurance Training Sessions. My name is Narendra Chaudhary and I hope you guys remember we have discussed about the course syllabus, like what are the courses that you are going to learn in order to become a very nice QA engineer, very good QA engineer, right? So out of that, the syllabus, we have completed in the beginning, we have completed what is called the QA, that is software testing concept. In the summary, we have discussed what the software testing means, right? In the beginning, in the first session of the training, right? And then we started, learning the sequels, right? So we have learned SQL in 15 classes, right? Out of there is so many things that we need to learn, but we have completed sequels in 15 classes, and I hope you guys understood all the classes. And I also post the what is called the SQL questions, and I hope you guys did the practice on that. And from today we are going to move from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and in the last we're going to prepare for the interview. So 1 and 2 we have completed, right? From today we are going to start number 3, which is QA process, which is also called life cycle of SDLC. SDLC, right? SDLC means software development life cycle, and SDLC means software testing life cycle. So we are going to discuss today, but in today video, I would like to tell that in today video we are going to discuss only this called software development life cycle, right? So in software development life cycle, there is various things that we could learn, we can learn. So what are those things we're going to learn? So we're going to learn the various phases of the software development life cycle. What are the steps of software development life cycle? We are going to learn what is the business BRD, business requirement document. We also going to learn technical requirement document, TDD, data model, data flow diagram, it is also called DFD, and metadata. So in today video we will be learning this one, and this is very important in real time projects, in real time interview also. So today whatever we are going to learn today, everything possible to be asked in the interview. So please focus very nicely, carefully. All right, so let's jump. So in the beginning we learn number one, QA concept. Let's quickly overview what we have learned in the QA concept mean. So the QA concept, right? Software quality testing concept. So what we learn? The software testing is the process in which the defect are identified, isolated, and documenting them for the rectification and ensuring that the product is defect free in order to provide the quality to the product as to produce the customer satisfaction. In software QA, testers perform to check whether the actual result matches with expected result and ensure that software system is defect free. So in generic, we have given the example as well, right? If as a user, if you need to test the ATM machine, what kind of testing you're gonna do that? So we discuss here, if I am a user of the ATM machine, what I will do is I will test make sure the ATM machine has the card insert option, right? Once you insert the card, it should ask for the PIN, right? Make sure when we enter the wrong credential means either password is wrong or uh, the card is like a wrong way. Then we should receive the error message. Make sure make sure there is the option to withdraw the money, deposit the money, transfer the funds, check the balance, and once you done your all activities, make sure you should get your card. So the ATM machine should throw out the credit card. So basically, what you have learned, right? Testing means it is the process. It is the process of any product, any application, any software to find the problem in application, in systems, in hardware or software, and if you find any problems, document them and send them for the fix. Once the fix, then retest. So that means why we are doing because before sending to the end customers, making sure everything looks good. We have given the example of ATM machine. For example, you are going to buy the TV from Walmart. The TV, when the TV is built, the process was completed. Some people build the TV, some people test the TV, some people try to, the negative way to test the TV. Once TV is working, everything fine, then only they send to the supermarket for sale. Sometimes after sale also we found the issue in a TV, that is called delivery and maintenance issue. In that's delivery and maintenance service. That means even you deliver your product, after deliver your product, if someone found the issue, that could be taken care by the what is called merchandise, that is called delivery and maintenance related the process. We'll be learning those in detail in the upcoming classes. So today we're going to start the learning what is the QA process, what is the software development life cycle, and what is the testing life cycle. In in software development life cycle, there is so many phases, so many steps that we have to follow. Similarly, in software testing life cycle, also we have to follow so many steps. So, what are the steps that we need to follow for software development life cycle is requirement gathering. In the first stage, not only software, but hardware, product, anything, anything in generic, anything. If you want to develop something, if you want to build something, if you want to make something, there will be a further, there will be a certain step. For example, if you want to build the house, right? Exactly how you building the house, same process will be applied for the software or hardware or application. If you want to build a house, you have to analyze where should I build the house, right? What kind of things do I need, right? Those are the things. Similarly, in software, also they analyze what kind of application we need, what kind of software we need, right? So in real life, whatever you're doing, that is also called the development life cycle. It could be product development life cycle, it could be hardware development life cycle, it could be any development life cycle, but anything that you want to product, anything that you want to produce or develop, there is a certain step that you have to follow. So these are the steps that you have to follow during the software development, right? First step, requirement gathering. Requirement gathering, what are the input do you need? Then analysis, design, coding, testing, delivery, and maintenance. These are the steps that we have to follow. Similarly, software testing life cycle, we will go for this in next classes. But today let's understand what are the steps in software development life cycle in detail. All right. So if you see here, first step or first topic is software development life cycle. What does that mean? Let's understand. Software development life cycle, which is SDLC, is the process that defines the steps involved in the development of software at each phases. Each phase means each steps. It covers the detailed plan, building, deployment, and maintenance software. It covers means it will include how, what you're planning for the building, when you are going to make ready, and after ready, if something problem comes, what kind of maintenance are you going to provide? So let's in the first step. First steps, it is requirement gathering. Gathering means bringing together. Okay, requirement. What is the requirement do you need? So in this, what is happening here? Let's see, understand. Very important question asked in almost every interview. All right. So this phases is the way project manager, stakeholders, users are held meeting in order to determine the requirement, like who is going to use the systems, how will they use the system, what data should be input in order into the systems, what data should be output by the system. These are the general questions going to be discussed between the users and the person who's going to develop those things, right? So basically in this situation, for I'm going to give a very generic example of your house. You want to build the house, right? What input do you need? Like, for example, how many people are you going to sit in the house, right? That we're going to decide. Where are you going to build? What are the items do you need? Like, is that going to be a, like kind of townhomes, or we're going to build a single family house, right? Or you're going to build with the bricks or wood, all those things. For example, if you are using, you are building the house for sale. So when you building something to give somebody else, you need to understand their needs as well. What kind of need, what is the need of other person. So that means you are gathering so many people, you are discussing what do you need to do this one, why do you need to do this one, what are the steps that we need to do this one, right? So all those things will be discussed during the requirement gathering. And where after once they discuss the requirement gathering, they will discuss about the BRD, TRD, FRD. This phase is also called project planning. If you are making your house, it is called build planning, like building planning. If you're making your some product, let's say we're making the car, it is called the car planning. Similarly, if all those things that we are doing in this step, it's called project planning. Here BRD, TRD, FRD. So in this phase, once they discuss like we need this, we need to this, and we need to use this requirement like this way. Everything will be mentioned into the document, and then document is called BRD, TRD, FRD. We will be discussing those as well here. All right. Number two, it says analysis. So once you discuss that, I need this, I need this, I need this, and we are making this. This is the region that we are making. This is the location that we are making. This is the purpose of that we are making. Everything should be analyzed. Like when we got our requirement, when we got our need, how do we achieve our need? Right? What is the step that we have to do for getting that needs? Right? So let's read here. Once requirement gathering is done, those requirements will be analyzed for their validity and the possibility of incorporating the requirement in the systems to be developed. It is also studied. In this phases, BRD, TRD, FRD will be created by business analysts. So while they analyzing the requirement, right, whatever the things they gather, they bring up for building a software, they will analyze, and based upon their analysis, they will create what is called BRD, which is business requirement document, TRD, technical requirement document, FRD, functional requirement document. So it's not required to bring everything in one project, but some person will prepare the BRD, some company will prepare for TRD, some company will prepare FRD. But these are the document will be prepared once they got the requirement and once they analyze the once they analyze the requirement. Let's understand how the BRD looks like, right? As we see here, BRD, TRD, FRD. How does the BRD look like? So I have prepared one BRD, all right? So this is our BRD, okay? It is called BRD, Business Requirement Document. And in BRD, what is the BRD means, right? So the BRD means a document that is prepared by the business analyst in order to achieve the goal. What will be our in scope, what will be our input, and what we're trying to do that, right? All those things mentioned in the BRD. Let's understand the BRD. So in the BRD, my BRD, this is the business requirement document name here, all right? And you see the BRD name. BRD name is 12345 ENC IT service data migration. This is the BRD name. So the purpose of this whole software development is they are migrating the data from one area, they are migrating the data service from one stage to another area. And in the BRD, what are the information will be there? In the BRD, who is the business owner, right? Like for example, who wants to build this application or this systems? Who is the main owner of this project? Their name will be there. Who is the project manager, right? One will be the owner, another will be the manager. Who is the manager? So the manager name will be there, project manager name will be there, business requirement. This is the business requirement name, right? Business requirement name will be there. What is the name? What is the application? What is the software they are building? Then what is the testing manager name? What is the project code? When they are going to build those applications? So all those information will be mentioned into the business requirement document. Also, then also who like what version of the business requirement, right? What is the version? So that is as of now we create just now, right? It has new version. So we put the version history. Like for example, if tomorrow if I need to change, I will put v, right, 0.2. So as of now there is no change in the story. It is new story. So story was prepared in August 2020, right? August 2020. And who prepared the story? The story prepared by Narendra. So here in the version history, you will be seeing who prepared the story. Similarly, number three topics, approve and contribution. So when a testers, when the business analyst, basically this story will be prepared by the business analyst. So when the business analyst prepare the story, that need to approved by upper level of management. So in number three, you see approval and contributor. So Ram K is our the product owner. He need to review our business story and he need to approve. Similarly, project manager also need to review our story and he need to approve. So that means approval and contributor means who else involved in the creation of the business requirement is called approval. Here it could be anybody. It could be developer, test engineers, test manager, project manager, product owner. Everybody name could be here because they have contributed. They have, they have helped to prepare those documents. So that is a part of here. So number three, approval and contributor name should be there. Number four, glossary. Glossary means like basically it is called acronyms. Basically, if I say BRD, you might not know what is the BRD means, right? So in that situation, we have to mention some acronyms terms like BRD, TRD, FSD, DDD, or FSD. So these are the terms, that is called acronyms. Okay. Number three, assumption. Number five, assumption. Assumption means when you testing something, when you're developing something, there will be any certain area that you might need to ignore. Is there any area that you need to ignore? For example, let's see, if you are building the house, right? In situation, if the mechanic is passed away or mechanic is not available, what assumption you have to use? So in that situation, you have to make backup another mechanic, right? So that is called assumption. If something happen, what you gonna do that, right? Is there any assumption? Is there any optional something available? If yes, then mention there. So either now I said no, no assumption, right? But but in the future, when you go for real time testing, you might see some assumption as well. Dependency. Dependency means when you're testing some application, when trying to build some application, is there any dependent requirement do you need or not? If yes, then put it here. If not, then don't. For example, if you're building the house, if let's see too much rain comes, right? Then if you are depending on the weathers, right, you have to wait when the rain sides, right? So those are the things that you need to understand. You need to put it here. If something got happen, how will you handle it? In order to do something, do you need to get that thing before doing this thing? That is called dependency. For example, if you want to go to the Walmart or go to the stores, you need some transportation in order to go to the store. So that means you are dependent on transportation. So those are the things we need here if there is any dependency needed. Number seven, from here, the actual testing start from here. All right. Always remember any business requirement document, the actual requirement start from requirement scope here. This is very important. Why this requirement built? So here the purpose of requirement is to validate the data migrated from person, location, and client table into employee table. This is the requirement, right? That means they are trying to bring all the data from person table, location table, client table, and they're trying to put into the employee table. All right. The BRD, FSD, TDD of data validation need to be approved by business owner. In order to, once the business analyst, they prepare all those things that need to be approved by business owner, technology manager, and testing manager. And what are the things that we need to test here? See here. Only active records need to migrate from source to target. Source means here we have source person table, location table, and client table. And target means here employee table. So there is three source tables and one target table. And our first condition says only The record need to migrate from source to target. So we have to write our SQL queries here. Remember here, again SQL came here. All right. Number two, employees bonus need to calculate it based upon the salary. So they are giving the employee, each employee they are giving the bonus. Right. Number three, data correctness, data completeness, data performance need to be tested or validated. That means we have to test this one. Similarly, number four, employee types can be identified based upon their duration of join as mentioned in TGD. So here this we are learning as a language, but in detail we'll be learning while watching the TGD. Okay. Data count, data referential integrity, data comparison evaluations need to be performed. Rejected record need to capture into audit table. All right. So these are 4 5 types of testing you have to do. What are the source table here? Source table, source tables in SQL Server. Remember, any requirement when you see the requirement scope, that is the main area that you have to look. Source tables in SQL Server database in master schema. So you have to go to SQL Server database, look the master schema. Inside the schema, there is three source table. You will be seeing persons, location, and client table. Target tema, target tables in SQL Server database in ETL QA schema. You have to go to the same. So server is same, but schema is different. All right, and you will see two tables. One is employee table, one is audit table. In employee table, you will be seeing all the active record. In audit table, you will see all the not active record. Right now, support in detail here. Number 8, support in detail. Support in detail means the purpose of requirement to understand the business need that how data migrated from each and every functionality if application, right? If the applications, the technical design document metadata data model has attached below. See, we have to look this one in order to understand how data move from one step to another step. Now, in the last we have resource and resource time technology tools. What are the information do we need to? Uh, what are the information? What are the resources? What are the technology tool we need in order to validate this requirement? So we need, like for example, we need a business analyst. A business analyst will take 1 hour, 120 minutes in order to prepare this document. And what kind of tools do you need, what kind of knowledge do you need? You need to know PPT, Excel, Word, database, UI, right? Similarly, developer might need 150 hours to develop the code for this requirement. And what do you need? He might need to know the web design tools, database, Java, like that, right? And QA system analysts, how many hours do they need to test all those requirements? So they might need 130 hours. And what do they need? They might need Excel's, Words, UI, web, databases, Jira, LM, so many tools they might need. So let's see how the map, what is the CAB layout. Let's open the Excel sheet here. Excel sheet is very important, right? Excel sheet will tell you exactly how it's work. So this is called metadata. Metadata means the detailed information of the table. So see here, database name. Let's understand about this first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 tables structure here. There is 4 tables metadata here. Let's understand one by one. All right. So database, which is SQL Server. So for all 3 tables, see the number column number D and column number N. So D are the table names, N are table name. So D is the source table name. So if you see database name SQL Server, schema masters, table types of table source, what is table name, and what are the columns name, what are their data types, and what is the length of each column, and is that column is primary key, yes or no? If yes, then we have to do testing on that. So see, this primary key, the first one is primary key, so we need to know what to do in primary key, right? Same is, if this column can be null, yes or no? So these are the information which is called metadata. That means the information of the table. So these 3 are the source tables, and this is the target. So if you see, for all 3 tables, their database, their masters schema, types of tables are same, right? Here in target, same database, but schema is different because they are migrating the data from all the data from master into ETL QA, and that is called target, and the table name is employee, and these are the column that is going to come. See, these are the column: employee ID, employee name, employee age, job, join date, salary, employee bonus. All those columns will be going to be in target, and this is the length. What could be the length of each columns? Okay, and is that can be primary key? Yes or no? Is that can be null? Yes or no? So this is called metadata. So metadata means, simple way, the metadata means the structure of the table. What is the column name, what is the table name, which database this table is there, what is the schema name, what is the data types of each column, what is the length of each columns, if that is the primary key, yes or no, if that column can be null, yes or no. These information will get from metadata. The forms or document that include all this information of the table is called metadata. All right. Number second, it's a data model. Data model means simply here how, what are the columns in each table. So if you see the person table, this uh, person table, client table, and location table. These are source tables. That is called source data model, right? So source data model means three table with their columns name: client table, person table, location tables, and this is called source data model. Similarly, target table here, all the only we have only one target, so all the column in target, and that is called target data model here. So in order to validate our business requirement, we got metadata, we got source data model, we got target data model. Now next sheet we have to learn about DFD. That means how the data is following, how the data move from one step to another step. So first from person table, there is a column called active flag. Remember, you see here the person table, ACC, row number 11, and here column number, yep, active flag. So it says person table filter the data only move to the active flag. So first of all we have to remove the active flag, no, active flag as n, and remove that, and then move the data from person table and put the location table. So here person table, and then do the left join on location ID, and again then do the left join on client ID, and that means you have to join all three tables, right, based upon the joining key that is given here, and then move the data into employee table. All right, now how you gonna move here? That is the main biggest thing here, TDD, that is called mapping, data mapping sheet here. So here let's see, source is information, target information, and the mapping information, three main topics that we need to understand, right? That is, this is the very important, this is the things that you need in order to test. So source information, what do you have here? Source information, we have SQL Server, schema, master schema, and source table we have all three table: person table, client table, and location table. All right. Then we have source field name, column D, source field name, data types of the columns. Is that column can be primary key? Yes or no? That column can be null? Yes or no? Now from here it start target table. How do we know? We know the schema ETL keyword is the target schema, right? So this is target schema. Now this is the employee tables. This is the column name. This is the data types of the target column name. Similarly, this is the, is that column can be yes. Sorry, that column can be no. I mean null or no. If yes, then yes. If no, then no. That column can be null. If that, oh, we did ult. Yeah, if that column can be null. Sorry, that means employee. No, it should be we do the ulta. No here. Yes here. We did ulta. Yeah, the first column cannot be null. Other column can be null. Similarly, is that primary key? We did. Oh, we did ulta. exactly opposite way. All right. Now see, so this is the issue that we found, right? This kind of issue is called business requirement issue. They have mentioned wrong way here, right? They have mentioned wrong way here. So that is called one issue that's just now we found. So how did they calculate? What is the logic transformation? This is direct move only active records. That means the employee ID from employee table should exactly match with person ID from person table. So that means the person ID, all right, the person ID from person table should match with employee ID into the employee table. Similarly, the first name and last name, the first name and last name from person table should match the employee name into the employee table. So it says what is the rule that we have to apply? We have to combine the first name and last name here. So here we have to combine and you have to write a SQL query how to combine the first name and last name. Similarly, age, job, hire date, they are directly coming into the table. So there is no any function, that is direct move. Similarly, employee bonus. Employee bonus needs to be calculated based upon the salary. So it says calculate 10% of salary. So whatever salary do they have, get 10% bonus, right? Similarly, state code for getting the state code, you have to join the location table. So these are the transformation logic. So what is the mapping sheet means? The mapping sheet is the document in which all the source information will be there, all the target information will be there, plus all the transformation logic will be applied there, right? So we understand the software development life cycle, and inside development life cycle we learn the requirement gathering, we learn the requirement analysis, and while doing the requirement analysis, the business analyst going to create the BRD, right? And when they create the BRD, along with the BRD, they have to create the metadata, they have to create the model, data model, they have to create technical design document, which is also called data mapping sheet. They have to also create DFT. So these are the 4 or 5 documents will be created by business analyst. All right, let's move to the next one. So we understand. See, the number 2 is very big process, right? Because in number 2, they will be creating so many documents. Number 3 is called design, right? So once the requirement got gathered, right? Once the requirement get gathered, once the requirement get gathered, requirement get analysis, and based of the analysis, BRD, TRD, FRD, technical design document, data flow, everything got created in the design. The designers, okay. So let's read. In this page, the system and software design is prepared based upon the BRD, right? So how they make the BRD? Based upon the BRD, they will create or design documents. There will be 2 types of design document created. One is high level design. In that design, in high level design, the project module will be determined, and another is low level design. In this design, sub module will be created. In these phases, modeling team will create the FD. So basically, in third one second stage, they whatever they discuss based upon the second step. In third step, the modeling team, data modeling team will create the data flow diagram, that how the data will move from one step to another step, as we discussed in our Excel sheet, right? Then number four, coding. Wow, coding. So once the design document created, right? Once the design document created and reviewed, developer will start coding and do the unit testing for each module. This is the main and longest phases in software development life cycle. They will be using the programming language like Java, SQL, Python. So this is the very longest process in our software development life cycle. Not only software development life cycle, but anything that you want to develop, the coding takes too much time. For example, if you are building the house, bringing the material will not take time. Bringing the mechanic will not take time. How to build will not take time. But when you're trying to when you're trying to build actually, that will take time. So that means coding means developing, preparing, making ready. Okay, so this is the biggest or this is the longest phases of software development life cycle, and this is the main, because if you do the mistake here, everything will mistake here. If you mess it here, everything will finish. So this is the main and very critical phase of software development life cycle. In that cycle, developer will uh, build a small things and he tests. So for example, if you are building the house, right, first you build the what is called the pillars, and you test, yes, pillar is good. Then you make the walls, right, then you put the door. So every step when the developer built a small thing, he will test, and that is called unit test. Small thing, like for example, let's say he was building a computer. He built first mouse, so he'll test mouse if the mouse is working or not. He built a keyboard, he will test the keyboard if the keyboard is working or not. So first he built everything individually, and he tests individually each and everything, and that is called unit testing. So you do the unit testing. Once everything is ready, then he will combine, and that is called integration testing. We will be learning those in our upcoming classes. All right. Number five, testing. Testing, right? So testing has its own life cycle, right? Here we are learning very, very in small, very summarized way. But upcoming classes we're gonna learn whole process of testing, like how the software development life cycle. It has a whole process. It has a whole process. Similarly, testing also has so many process, so many steps. So what do I do here? After code is developed and deployed, testing team will start testing against the requirement. That means testing team will look the requirement, he will understand the requirement, and he will finalize what do I need to test. Based upon that, he will start checking the product or application once the development prepared. Okay, so after the code is developed and deployed, testing team will start testing against the business requirement to make sure that product is actually solving the needs of address and gathering during the requirement phases. That means what they're trying to say. That means during the requirement process, whatever we discuss to build, whatever application or software we discuss to build, is that need gets solved or not, right? Is that whatever we plan to develop, is that is actually developed as our plan or not? Those things will be testing during the testing time. During this phases, smoke testing, integration testing, system testing, functional testing, uh, uh, UAT, which is called acceptance, that is called UAT testing, and so many testing. There will be so many testing: regression, integration, ad hoc, backend, UAT. So many testing will be done. There will be BRD review, right? While the prepare, there will be a BRD. There will be BRD review, preparation of test plan. Okay, there will be BRD review, preparation of test plan, test cases document, test data, execution of test cases, preparing of defect profile document, and test reporting performed. We have separate section of all those things. So testing is a very important. For testing itself had their own life cycle, their own steps, what they are going to do. So in testing life cycle, we have the BRD review, then preparing of the test plan, test cases, execute test cases. Then while during the testing, you found some problem, document that problem, send them for fix, and once it got fixed, again retest, then prepare the report, and then send to the end client and the user. In the last, we have delivery and maintenance, right? What is delivery and maintenance means? After the product is tested thoroughly, it will be released to the customers for the use under the process of delivery. In case of any defect are encountered by the customers, they will rectified under the process known as maintenance. Right? This is everywhere this function, this features, this facility available. So whenever you buy any products, there will be a manufacturing warranty. That is called delivery and maintenance. Anywhere you go, anywhere you buy something, there will be delivery and maintenance uh, facility. In the last, for each software, even software, hardware, or anything. Let's say you bought Microsoft software from Microsoft company, right? Once you bought, you install your systems, but later on it's not working. So they deliver the system to you, they deliver the software to you, but it's not working as a customer. So what do? You have the option to do the maintenance on that, right? So you're gonna call the software company and tell them your situation, and they will fix, right? So that is called delivery and maintenance. Delivery and maintenance means, in summary, it is the service after product delivered to the customers and customer found a problem, customer need to get the answer of that problem. That is called delivery and maintenance. So I hope you guys understand in today video. Today video is little bit large, but if you understand this whole process today that we have discussed, you are very good at to clear your interview. So let's summarize what you have learned. So today we quickly understand the concept of the testings. We also discussed the different phases of software development life cycle, right? In software development life cycle, we have discussed requirement gathering, analysis, design, coding, testing, and delivery and maintenance. And during the requirement analysis and requirement design, we have learned business requirement. What is the business requirement, right? What kind of information that business requirements hold, and while preparing the business requirement, what are the sub documents that we need to prepare? So they prepared the data models, right? Uh, they prepare the data mapping sheets, right? They prepare the technical design documents. They prepare the DFD. So basically, those documents will be created by business analyst and modeling team, right? The document creation will be done by modeling team and business analyst team. Coding process will be done by coding, which coding is also called developing process. Okay, so coding process or development process will be done by developer. Testing process or testing process will be done by testing teams, and delivery and maintenance process will be done by uh, and and the customers and the person who deliver the applications. So I hope you guys understand for today classes. Please watch the video 2 or 3 times, and I would like to request everyone, please subscribe my channel. All right, thank you very much.